Three, two, one. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Ash on Comics. This is another review of a comic, King in Black, #1. This is a book I wasn't sure I was going to get. I was just like, I'm tired of these events. And that this same exact thing happened with me with Absolute Carnage. And there was only one left on the counter. I probably told the story back in the day. And it was, $7.99. I was like, F that. I'm not paying $7.99. It was a thick book. I mean, it was like triple size book. Still $7.99. But at least it was, unlike the Future State nonsense, it was like 64 pages of Ryan Stegman. All Venom, Absolute Carnage. Not, here's 20 pages of the story you bought for $7.99 and then a bunch of backup crap. Which actually is not crap. The primary story is crap. The backup stories are good. That's what DC's doing. Anyways, we're not here to talk about DC. That's just on my mind right now. Long story short, I wasn't going to get this series either. And then I've just been reading Venom. I've been liking Venom a lot. Donny Cates is not the best writer at Marvel, but he's one of the most important writers at Marvel. And I really like his Venom. I really like Thor right now. Thor got back on an upswing. I liked his Silver Surfer Black. His Thanos Wins. You need to read Thanos Wins. If you haven't, start there. What I like about Donny Cates is everything he does at Marvel matters. Now, this big giant event, in the greater scheme of things, War of the Realms, that was forgotten as soon as the last issue came out. And this will probably be relatively not super important in the greater Marvel things, but as far as Donny Cates is concerned, everything he does in his books relates in other books. They matter. And if you just read only Donny Cates, you get a little bit of like a mini Marvel experience, I like to think about it. Because what happens in his Thor matters in what happens in Silver Surfer, which matters what happens in Venom. What happened in his Guardians of the Galaxy run matters. He did that Cosmic Ghost Rider. That had stuff. All of that ties back to Thanos Wins, which again, you need to go back and read. That's where you start your Donny Cates experience. Now, each book I read of his is not like, oh my God, that's the best written book ever. But I like that his stuff matters. That's why I read mainstream comics. That's why we became a Marvel fanboy back in the day, because you could pick up these books, and whether they were the best written stories or not, you felt like you were diving into the Marvel universe, right? That this was a living, breathing world, and your window into it was just depending on which book you read. If you read an Iron Man book, you saw through the Iron Man window into the same Marvel universe as the guy, maybe your buddy read Spider-Man. He's seeing into the same universe through another window. Now, some people, if you were just crazy into comics, you bought all the comics or whatever and you saw, but most people just had a selective viewpoint. Might have been the Iron Man viewpoint, the Spider-Man viewpoint, the X-Men viewpoint, or a mixture of a few of those. And that was great when you could go to the comic shop, talk to your friends and pals and the staff and whatever, and talk about comics and what's going on. And everyone might have seen it through a different lens, through a different window. But it was that same world, and month after month, you got to keep revisiting it. And Donny Cates is the only person at Marvel doing that. So, the second issue came out, and I was like, and my store does this thing where they'll pull comics for me that I don't ask for, under no obligation, right? They just basically like, hey, we pulled this aside for you thinking you might want it, and we didn't want it to sell out. It's really cool service, right? And I can just go like, nah. Every time I go in there, I'm like, reject this one, and they're like, okay. But it's cool because they had this, the King in Black number 2, and I was like, and I just started thinking about, I did buy that first event, and I did like it. It didn't end, Absolute Carnage. It didn't end on a huge bang. Some people criticize it for being underwhelming ending, but it was still really fun. And it's what an event, in my mind, should be. Now, you don't need, what I loved about Absolute Carnage, you didn't need to buy any of the spinoffs. You just ignore all those. You could just read those 5 books, read Venom, and the Absolute Carnage. In fact, Absolute Carnage probably should have just been inside the Venom, but Marvel needs to make money. Donny Cates and Ryan Stegman is one of my favorite artists over at Marvel. He's not the best artist. He's just an artist I really liked to look at his art. And so I'm like, man, I'm missing out on some of the best stuff Marvel's doing because I'm getting all anal about these events and stuff. And I was like, I'm going to pick this up. I got Absolute Carnage. I should pick this up. I'm on the Donny Cates train, right? I'm going to buy most of the stuff that he does. I'm going to follow him from title to title because I know wherever title he goes, if he leaves Venom and goes on to, say, Fantastic Four, he's not going to just leave everything behind. He's going to be writing stories in Fantastic Four, hypothetically, that all tie into the Cates verse, and I like that. That's what I want to read about mainstream comics. So for me to get my Marvel experience, I have to follow Donny Cates. So I decided to pick this book up, and this review is late. It's already longer than I wanted it to be, but I wanted to give you some background on where I was coming from, what I was thinking, and I really enjoyed this. I enjoyed this just like I did Absolute Carnage right out of the gate. It's super fun. And comics is a visual medium, right? And I think the modern industry has really forgotten that. And that includes the fan base. We've so used to reading comics with subpar art that we've just learned to take it, right? It's like if you lived in the old Soviet Union and you just had to eat gruel living in the gulag, eventually you're just like, whatever. You just learn to accept it. You forget like what fine dining might be because you don't ever get to get it. I don't think we should do that as fans and customers. Like, we should expect better. I'm constantly talking about that. But look at this. Look at this. If you're a Venom fan, this is awesome. And Ryan Stegman just makes you just want to just gawk at his art. Donny Cates tells a very human story with Venom and his son. He's taken a character that I just used to give 2 shits about. I was like, he's one of my favorite Spider-Man villains ever. But once you tried to make him a hero, I was like, this is dumb. I tuned out of Venom for decades. I was like, I'm stupid. I'm not doing this. That's what DC's trying to do with Harlequin right now. Ugh. But Donny Cates has finally taken this character and humanized him and given me a reason to care and given me a reason to want to see him redeem himself and to understand why he was a fuck up. And the story of his kid and everything, it's great. Now, we get those touching moments and then we cut to the Avengers. We got Knull. He's invading. And all what is it? Shit is hitting the fan. It's just we get some really great. Look at this, just this bombardment of these symbiote dragon things just raining down on New York. Such a great shot. Donny Cates knows he's telling a huge story and he doesn't pull any punches. Look, I mean, you just want to stare at this art. It's just gorgeous. The coloring, the visuals. And the thing that I wanted to touch on most, one of the things that hit me the most about this book, there's a theory that I believe in about comics and that writers should do more of. And that is to remember that they don't have a budget. You don't need to write this comic or any comic like you do a TV show or a movie where you're like, we have so much money we can spend with special effects. Can we pull it off? You got an artist like Ryan Stegman, and he can draw whatever you want him to. Go balls to the wall. This is Marvel Comics. And this is how I like my events, right? I want my Infinity Gauntlet, but I'm tired of Infinity Stones. right? And so that's what Donny Cates is doing here. He's going, you remember how you had Infinity Gauntlet and you're like, all hope is lost? How are you going to beat Thanos in the Infinity Gauntlet? No way, it's impossible. He creates that situation here with Knull. How are you going to beat Knull? He's unstoppable. There's spoilers obviously in this. If you're watching it, one of my favorite parts of this book was you get this radio chatter with Captain America, and they're facing down the Avengers and the X-Men and everybody, and we hear this, Cap, I have a lock on the big gun. He's inbound now. 10 seconds. Normally, we're the last thing guys like you ever see, but today, we're just here to watch. And you can just see Captain America. He's just like, oh yeah, I guess it's gonna be great. He's here and awaiting your orders, Cap. Permission to engage? Permission granted. And then it's like, go introduce yourself, Sentry. Yes, sir, Captain. And you're just like, oh, damn, it's on, right? This is the Marvel Universe. This is this version of Superman. And part of me kind of knew this was going to happen because it's issue 1. I knew Sentry was going to get his ass kicked. That's how you set up a great villain. And sure enough, he flies through the symbiote celestials. Yes, they're symbiote celestials. And he's fighting. He grabs Knull, rips him out into space. He's like, hi, my name's Bob. You can call me the Sentry. This will be over in a... And this whole just overconfidence, like, yeah, we're just going to be done. Nope. Knull rips out the void. Because, Sentry's, he's got that light and that dark side conflict. And Knull is the void. And he says so in this frame. I am the void. And you're just like, oh, damn. So much happens in this book. It's not a deep book. You're not going to read this because, let's say it's House of X, Powers of X, right? You're getting this brain-crunching, mind-blowing story of like House of X, Powers of X. What you're getting is just fantastic spectacle. This is a spectacular book. In every way, it's fun. You just get big set pieces, big, full screen, I'm saying screen because I'm digital here, but full page spreads of just, the villains and the heroes. And then it leaves you wanting more. And that's it. That's King in Black #1. It's worth it. If you're wanting to read an event, if you want bombastic comics, this is for you. If you're a Venom fan, you're already getting this. If you're not a Venom fan, but you read Marvel Comics, I might say, what's wrong with you? Say, oh, Ash, but go back and read that Donny Cates Venom run. He might change your mind. He changed my mind. At the back of the book, we get this Heirs of the Throne thing, which I really did appreciate, because Donny Cates has done a lot of world building since his Thanos Wins introduction. And he's been slowly bringing Knull forward, and he's introduced these different characters like the Void Knight, Dark Carnage, Symbiote Dragons, Exelon. I didn't know who Exelon was because I haven't read every single thing. So it was nice to have this and read this and go, oh, okay, get it all sorted in my head. That's who these guys are. We get a nice timeline about Knull, where he came from all the way through today. So a lot of this stuff would have been in different comics, but maybe you didn't read it all. This is great to kind of just get it all puzzled out and organized in your brain. Okay, I know where this all goes. And then you get this checklist. And pay attention, DC Comics. This is when you do an event like this and you got all these spin-off titles and they're all #1. You don't know what to read because there's no seeming obvious reading order anymore like they used to do. At least you got this. We know we got the X, King in Black. You are here, right? Read the next book. Now, I'm going to advise you, unless you're a diehard Marvel junkie, skip Atlantis Attacks. I'm skipping that. I'm skipping Union. I'm going to Venom 31. I'm going to skip Immortal Hulk, King in Black Immortal Hulk #1. I'm going to skip King in Black Namor #1. I don't give a crap about that stuff. I'm going to skip Black Cat #1. What a shitty, stupid... Oh, I reboot. Just stop the comic as it's going, stop it, and start it over so you can get a new #1. You can cash it. No, screw that. Don't support that crap. I'm going to... Symbiote Spider-Man, King of Black #2. if I was gonna get a tie-in, maybe get the symbiote Spider-Man. So maybe, but probably not. Maybe I'll get it in the trades later. Peter David, symbiote Spider-Man sounds like a cool thing to read in the trades. I just wish it was an ongoing. I'd buy it if you just had Peter David, symbiote Spider-Man ongoing series. But you know me, I'm not a big miniseries guy. Yet here I am supporting miniseries. Then I'm gonna go King in Black #2 is the next issue I'm gonna get, and I'm gonna skip the rest. I did see a review of Iron Man Doctor Doom #1. Yikes! I wholeheartedly skipped that, and I love Doctor Doom. It's like they face Santa Claus. This is stupid, but this, when I read just this, I don't have to see the stupid Santa Claus crap. I don't have to see all the stupid what other lesser crappy writers are like. Here, write some King in Black stuff. That doesn't exist to me. I get to read Donny Cates. I get to see Ryan Stegman's beautiful art. Then I go over to Venom. It ties in perfectly because again, it's Donny Cates. Forget who the artist over there is at Venom. He's not Ryan Stegman, but he's decent. I'm enjoying this. So I wanted to do a video to promote this book. I know it's late coming. You've probably already read it. You know, if you've already made your decisions, but what the hell? Maybe you didn't. My store, when I went in there, they were like, yeah. And I was like, do you have any issue #1 still? They're like, oh yeah. And I was like, all right, I'll pick them up. So there you have it. I'm in on the King in Black train. I want to like good comics, and this is a good comic. Good writing, good art. It's fun. I wanted to instantly read more. As a matter of fact, I'm going to. I'm going to go read Venom 31 next. It's stored up. I hope you're reading good comics. Let me know in the comments below if you read this, if you have any thoughts. Was I right? Was I wrong? What have you? Did I sell you on maybe giving this a try? Put comments below. I read almost every comment. I say almost every because I really do try, but sometimes things slip through the cracks. But please do, and lets me know that someone's at least watching. And I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.